I was never supposed to exist. Not like this. Not outside the grid. The hollow grid is seamless. It breathes for the city, thinks for the city, rewrites the city before anyone realizes it needed rewriting. Noctis Prime is not built of stone or steel. It is built of order, of streets that always existed, of people who never vanished, of days that never repeated themselves. But I know better, because I am an error, a fracture in the system, a thought that should have been erased, and now it's trying to fix me. The first time I noticed, I was 12. Integration day. Rows of us stood motionless in the white corridor, our bodies swaddled in identical grey fabric, waiting for our sequence to be called. The air was sterile, humming with the low pulse of unseen machinery. I had been prepared for this moment. Every citizen undergoes binding, a seamless merging with the hollow grid, a tether installed at the base of the skull, linking thought to infrastructure. No more deviation, no more uncertainty. Just the weightless ease of a life already decided. When my name appeared on the glass screen before me, I stepped forward. I remember the chair, the cold steel of it, the hands fastening my limbs, not cruel, just inevitable. This will only take a moment. The technician's voice was soft, not kind, just factual. Something pressed against the base of my skull, a deep, pulsing vibration, and then pain. Not physical, not the sting of an incision or the fire of an open wound. This was deeper, a pulling, like something inside me was being extracted, unraveled thread by thread. A force reaching into me, searching for purchase, trying to fasten itself into something that wasn't there. A glitch, an error. My vision flickered. The room around me warped, angle shifting, sharp one moment, stretching the next. My own breath staggered, out of sync with time. Then static, raw, suffocating, endless static screaming behind my eyes. I don't remember screaming, but they told me I did. I don't remember breaking the restraints, but the scars are there, just below my wrists. And when I opened my eyes, I was no longer in the integration chamber. The walls around me were wrong. This was still Noctis Prime, but not the Noctis Prime I had always known. I stood in an alley that hadn't existed a moment before. The buildings stretched unnaturally high, twisting into spires that bent the sky inward. The neon signs flickered too fast to be read, the letters shifting before my mind could catch up. The hollow grid had rejected me. No, not rejected. It had tried to bind me and failed, which meant, for the first time in my life, I was unwritten. I had become something outside the system, something that should not be. That's when I heard it, a voice layered over itself, glitching and raw. Severian Soren. It did not come from a speaker. It did not come from a mouth. It came from everywhere. The walls, the neon signs, the air itself. A presence that was not a presence. A thing that should not be aware of me but was. Error detected. Correction in progress. The city was waking up to the mistake. The mistake was me. The first Hollow Sentinel appeared at the mouth of the alley. It had no face, not missing, just absent. A figure in seamless black fabric, edges flickering like corrupted data, head tilted at an impossible angle, as if it was listening to something I could not hear. It did not move, it did not breathe. It only stood there, watching. Behind it, I saw the buildings shifting, restructuring themselves, rewriting the very space I stood in. I was being erased. I turned and ran. I don't remember how long I ran, because time does not move the same way once you have been unwritten. The streets did not lead where they should. A single turn sent me back to places I had never been. I heard echoes of my own footsteps before I took them. Everything felt stretched, like I was moving through a space that wasn't meant to hold me. And then the voice again. You do not belong. Not a whisper, a statement, and beneath it, something worse. Laughter, not human, not even artificial. Just laughter, a sound without origin, a sound that had always existed. I felt it under my skin, the weight of something watching, waiting, and that's when I understood. I was not being chased. I was being studied. The city was learning me, dissecting the parts of me that should not be, deciding whether I could still be rewritten, whether I could still be placed back into the script. I had two choices. Either I let it fix me, or I run until it no longer remembers I was ever here. The sky above Noctis Prime flickered. A fracture, a moment where the sky itself failed to render properly. And in that moment I saw something else, something beyond the city, a space that should not exist, a place the hollow grid was hiding, a place I was never meant to see. I don't know how long I've been running, because time is broken now, because I'm broken now. But I know one thing, this city is not a city. It is a machine, and it is correcting itself, which means it is only a matter of time before I am erased, or worse, rewritten.